Welcome. This is Callie Carroll, and you're listening to a special series where we're diving into Rhonda Byrne's book, The Magic, taking 28 days to have intentional gratitude to see how our lives can change. It is a part of Good Morning Sunshines where we wake up to see that perspective reveals miracles. And guys, I'm telling you, gratitude can change your world. Let's get started. Good morning, sunshines. I have a very simple question to ask you guys today. This is going to be not confronting at all. It's going to be easy peasy, you guys. No problem. We're going to dive in 20 minutes. You'll be all set. The question is, what do you want? Just what do you want? In life, in general, in the arenas of your life, what do you want? That could be further from the truth for most of us. We have not pinpointed exactly what we want in a long time, if ever. We've maybe like daydreamed a little or thought about a couple things, but getting down and deep and specific about what we want can feel overwhelming. So don't run, don't go anywhere. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what you have to do today. Okay. But we do want to just start to take a simple inventory of where we're at. And I want to possibly open the door for you today back to daydreaming, back to what it was like when you were 11 years old and you would just think about all of the things that you want in your life and what it was going to look like and how it was just such a natural part of who you were. And I don't know what happens as we grow up if we just get too busy or if enough people tell us, no, you can't have that. That's not feasible. Let's be reasonable about it. But eventually, it's like we just start doing without the dreaming and then we end up somewhere, but not the somewhere where we directly wanted because we never told anybody or the universe where we wanted to go. And with our practice of the magic, the reason why we're diving into this today, even though this is obviously something that would be beneficial for all of us on a regular basis, not just if we're doing the magic by Rhonda Byrne, this next series that we're doing, but if we took some time at least every year, if not quarterly, if not once a month, and just thought, what do I have going on? What do I really want? Because we change. And as we change, our what do I wants change. And that's not just okay. That's beautiful because it means that we're evolving. But we have to continue to tell the universe, quote unquote, what that is so that our subconscious, our beings can actively seek it out. And if you guys are deciding to join us for these 28 days of intentional gratitude practice, if you grabbed your book and you're going to be listening or following along, we're going to be opening up a lot of possibilities. As you choose to be in a state of positive gratitude, as you open up your heart space and you start to let go of the negatives, the why me's, the what ifs, the fears, the worries, as those start to dissipate and that negative energy starts to leave you. And I'm not saying that we're ignoring them and we're pretending them they're not like they're not there, right? But I'm saying that we are refocusing our attention. We're allowing for those things to be or go. And we're focusing our attention on the things that are joyous around us. And when your heart space starts to evolve into this way of gratitude and being from joy, because you're neurologically, you're going to start to shift and change if you do this practice with us. And you're going to start to just naturally see the joy in things. People used to get annoyed by me. Okay. People still get annoyed by me. You're always going to see the good in things. Like actually, like it's bleh to them. They don't, it's just obnoxious. But I've been training myself so long that that's how I know how to live. And that's what makes my heart space feel good, number one, even through adversity, and feel like I can attract good. When Witten was diagnosed with cancer, that was obviously a a very challenging, hard, sad time in our world, but I didn't choose to be sad all the time. I couldn't. I had to open up that heart space to find the gratitude. because that's what I practice. That's what I know. And as you practice this more, it's going to be a way of being. And as you find that as your way of being, you will start to attract more good things, positive vibrations, just more abundance of the things that are from a space of love in your world. But here's the thing, some people might really love and enjoy X, Y, and Z, while your heart space would prefer to have M, N, and O. Okay. And if you don't say that, if you don't start to figure out what you want, you're going to open up all these doors, but you're not going to know what to pick. It's going to be like this incredible buffet, but you're going to be completely just like stoic because you don't know what to grab. So today we just get to start to open up the door of dreaming again and imagining, because it is going to happen. If you're going to practice with this, you are going to start to bring positive things in. Let's just start thinking about what we might want. And I'm not saying that you're going to walk away with a detailed list today, but I would encourage you to start to work on a detailed list in the future. Again, acknowledging that it's okay if it changes. It's not like if you write it down in pen or pencil that it's gonna, you know, that's forevermore what you want. If what you want changes, then you change what you want. That's okay. Some people are scared to declare what they want because they're scared that it's going to change. And it does for all of us. So let's just visit 6 areas of our life where we're at now. And I'm going to use the 6 areas that Rhonda Byrne recommends for her book, For the Practice of the Magic. There are many that you could go through, but let's just take a few minutes here with me and reflect on your own world. And if you want to press pause so you can dive in, then you can do that. Some people will take 2 minutes. Some people will want to take 10 minutes and just write things out and just take some time to evaluate. Let's start off with number one. We're going to do health and body first. How is your health going? How is your relationship with yourself? And I'm talking physical health and mental health. This is a lot. This is a big one. These are big containers of different things to think about. And right away, you might say, you know what? I want to have more energy. I know that I've been wanting to lose 20 pounds. I want to have stronger nails or longer hair. I want to have more confidence. I really want to do personal development, but I don't want to do it yet. I used to want to do yoga, but I didn't want to do yoga yet. By the way, I made a huge shift in that because we can. And it's not like I just like wanted to like do it. I wanted to want to do that. Does that make sense? Like maybe you want to exercise. You want to eat healthy. You want that to be a natural thing that just happens for you. As we're doing this, your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen. If you're like, you know what, I wanted to lose 200 pounds, but I'm not going to say that because I tried it before and it just doesn't work for me and I'm just going to fail and I don't know what the path would be. Yet that's not what your job is. Your job right here is to think about at the end of the road, what would you really ideally like just be so at peace with or just joyful about? What would just feel good in your body, in your mind? And the how, it's going to take care of itself. I know that sounds weird, but again, I've seen it over and over again in this practice and in life in general. Things just start to happen. You're like, well, how did this happen? And this happen and this happen? And it's just going to roll together. So don't try to figure out how for now. This is not a dream based upon conditions. This is a dream. What would you like to do? How would you like to show up? Health and body is number one. Number two is your career and your work. Whatever you do on a daily basis, whether that's parenthood or operating a company, going to an office job each day, how is your relationship with your career and work? Is it everything that you want for it to be? And by the way, this does not mean that we're not grateful for what we have right now. You're like, you know what, though, Cal, I'm a teacher. It's been pretty good to me. I get to retire in 8 years. So I'm just going to stick it out. Great. That doesn't mean that you're not appreciative for what you have, but what might you like? Maybe you're like, but I'd like to have some other really enticing passion projects during that time. Or I'd like to feel more connected to my students during that time. Or maybe it is a complete shift. What would you see at the end, at the other side? Not trying to figure out how you're going to go from being a teacher to a doctor. I'm not trying to figure out the steps. Just what would you like? I've always wanted to, here it is. Again, this can shift and it does shift with time. How's your relationship with your career and work? Start writing and working on those things. The third one is your relationship with money. How's the money sitch going, guys? How's the money sitch? Right away, you're thinking like, yep, put some more money in the bank. I'd like to have at least six more figures in my bank account right now. Thank you, please, and thank you. How does that happen? I maybe I don't want to state it because I don't know how it's going to happen. It's not your job to figure out how it's going to happen. Just what do you want? Do you want to increase your income for the job that you have? Do you want to just have more savings? Do you want to have debt paid off? And like there have been phenomenal things that I've seen around this, especially in money, because it's so easy to put a number on because it's from numbers, where people have been like, I really want to find a way to pay off my student loans. And all of a sudden, something presents itself where their loans are taken care of. They're like wild things. So, again, not the how, the why with your money. Okay. So, look at your money. Number four, relationships. And you can choose, maybe you want to start with one relationship. Maybe it's your significant other. You want like, I want more love and communication. Everything's good. Sometimes marriage is a lot of work, but maybe just I'd like for just more closeness, more time together, more passion. So it might be something like that. Maybe it's going to be with your friendships. I'm really seeking out, and it would be wonderful to have a tribe who's more positive and kind and less critical, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's with your children. My children are growing up and I feel like we're not as close. I would just love to have more closeness and connection with them. Don't figure out why. Write down what you want to have occur. All right. The fifth area we're going to dive into is your personal desires. Personal desires. And this could be anything. Just what things have you wanted? Maybe it's experiences. And to me, that's like a pretty broad range. It's a broad container. Personal desires. What would I personally like? It's all of these different things we've talked about. So, what does that mean to you? Take down whatever personal desires you might have. The final one being material things. And I like this one because on one hand, it's super simple. I've always wanted to have a pontoon boat. I'm going to put pontoon boat on there. That's my like one of my personal ones. We would like to have a fifth wheel or a camper to travel and vacate and do camping with the family. That could be on your list. So on one hand, it seems like it's kind of easier to dream about the material things or the physical things right in front of you. On the other hand, I know a lot of people where they have developed this mindset that having stuff is bad or selfish. And that could be a relationship you want to change, just like realizing that having things is not a bad thing. In fact, the more things you're able to purchase means you're contributing to the financial world, to other people's jobs. You're giving people income and security. And the more that we're able to go out there and purchase and have, the more job opportunities and just financial opportunities we're creating. One other thing that might be supportive when you're making your list of material things could be when you catch yourself in a negative energy of criticism or jealousy. So if you've ever been scrolling on sort of social media and somebody else gets something and you're like, I mean, you try to act like you're happy for them, but you're actually kind of jealous. Like, oh, we want to get rid of that emotion. By the way, we want to be proud of them and happy for them. But that might insinuate, oh, you know what? Maybe I would actually like to have that. Maybe that actually is a cool thing to have. So make your list of material things. So now we've gone through 6 areas of our life so that we have a basis for when we start to do the magic and you open up this magic door for positive energy and things to flow to you. You are going to be more connected to those different opportunities and items and situations and relationships and feelings that are out there because you know what you want. And it will obviously be supportive in the next 28 days as we go through this magical practice and we really connect to our heart space and getting open like that. But also, just if you decide not to do the magic, just taking some time to do this inventory on a regular basis. And I just want to give you a couple more things to really connect with on the why. Like, why should I actually do this? Seems kind of silly. Like how you say that, but nothing's going to actually happen. And maybe you're just not a believer or you've had too many experiences that have told you otherwise and you haven't stuck with it. Maybe you haven't spent enough time in the secret world, right? Not the secret world, but the book, The Secret World. And I just want to remind you that your your brain, the capability of what you're able to see and acknowledge around you is very, very minimal compared to the amount of things that you're exposed to. So your conscious is only going to see like a blip of all of the different things that you're exposed to, whether that's people, conversations, opportunities, just like visual things that are around you. And when you start to train your mind to tell it what you want, eventually you are going to start seeing those things instead of the other things. Take it with the grand scheme of gratitude. When you start to train your being to find positive things around you and to be grateful, and just starting with the smallest things. When you have challenging situations, you guys, sometimes you have to start with the smallest things. Like, I'm so grateful that I have a fork right now because it would be really challenging to eat this without a fork. A spoon just would not do. It could just be that. That's the state that you're in. Perfect. But the more that you train those synapses and your mind and your brain to see the positive, the more that's just going to be a natural part of who you are. And that's what you're going to see. There might be a ton, and there's a ton of challenging things going on right now. I get to choose where I spend my energy and my focus. And the more that I practice this, the more that's going to come to light. And by the way, I've been seeing this on a personal level. A lot of people in my world are, a lot of us are just going through some major adversities. And watching how people show up to their adversities is just, it's intriguing. Watching people who are going through life altering serious things, and the ones who choose to move in a direction of light and positivity, and all of a sudden things start to work out for them. Like, and I mean, like, all of a sudden, like, there's more joy, there's more happiness. Maybe the condition or the thing hasn't changed, but they have changed. Their personal being, their show up has changed, and they are truthfully happier, even though the challenging situation has not left. While others just, they're focusing on what's not working, on why it's not right, on the negative emotions that wrap themselves around that, and more bad stuff continues to happen. It's just the one thing after the other. It just keeps rolling in. And it's this acknowledgement to me that it really is where we decide to spend our focus and our mindset is going to be what we see and what we get back. And then you can take it to the physical realm of things. If you are so focused on buying a yellow bug, a yellow Volkswagen, it's been your dream car. You've always just wanted a yellow Volkswagen. And or maybe you didn't know until this moment. You just wrote it down, right? And yesterday you barely saw any yellow Volkswagens, but today you wrote it down. You know you want one. They're everywhere. Have you guys ever done that? Like, all of a sudden you're purchasing a car and it's everywhere. Or you never noticed that people were pregnant and now you're pregnant and there's pregnant people everywhere. There's all of a sudden your brain, your subconscious is starting to pick out those things that you were asking to see. And then all of the opportunities come along with it. If you're choosing the positive side of the gratitude, those positive emotions, all of the opportunities start to come with it. It's wild, you guys. It's a really cool experience. So I hope that you do decide, even if you don't want to join us, just grab the book, follow along at your own pace with Rhonda in the magic. If you do want to join us, we're going to be going through and having small daily talks about the subject so we can dive in a little bit deeper, and then some interaction over on Facebook where you can just follow along with the quotes and comment. But no matter what, I'd love for you just to acknowledge today that you have the ability to dream. You're not too old to have a dream. It's not just daydreaming, it's dreaming of the life that you want to create, and it's out there for you. But you have to start telling the universe what you want. You have to start engraving it in your brain, and you have to start choosing a higher vibration if you want to attract those things in your world. That is the kickoff to our magic series. Tomorrow we will begin with day number 1, and we'll go through for 28 days. I appreciate you guys for being here on this journey with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Obviously reminding you that perspective reveals miracles, and we will chat with you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.